Hey everybody, welcome back to Jordan Lee Tarot. Today I only have two decks because I was only feeling called to showcase two decks. We have the Sacred Journey, I always have to double check, Sacred Journey Oracle and the Midnight Magic Mushroom Tarot deck. I am very excited to be reading for you today. Literally on the other side of my screen is this big gorgeous window, and I was watching Mother Nature show off with the most showboaty of sunsets, and I ran out in my bare feet and got some pictures because it was stunning. And I'm loving these long days. It's like after 9 o'clock and the sun still hasn't fully set yet. It's just very energizing. I find that I stay up way later than I normally would just because it's light out, right? And there are all kinds of critters and creatures flying around out there. I think there are bats out there. Bats do not freak me out. There's really some lovely symbolism there that may or may not apply to this reading. I don't know why I mentioned it, but anyway, if bats are significant for you, take that as a message. You might see my cat in the background. I don't think she'll be coming onto the chair today, but she has been joining me for some of my readings, which makes me really happy. So, oh, there she is. Ivy. She's like, whoa, what? I didn't want to be on camera. All right. I hope you guys are doing really well today. I'm going to jump into the reading because I personally hate when there's so much at the beginning of a video that you don't get to the meat of the video. So I'm going to shut my cute face. Not going to be mean. I'm going to shut my cute face and get into the reading because that is why we are here. All right. I am forever amazed at cats because I've had dogs my whole life. They're fun. So different, but so fun. Okay. Oh, okay. This is fun. All right, so we have the Three of Wands, and I am going to read from the deck because there are little messages about mushrooms that are specific to each card that obviously are not a part of the traditional tarot experience. That's why I like the Midnight Magic deck. It has its own little world going on that can sometimes add a second layer to even the tarot cards. The second is the Four of Wands. So we have Three of Wands, Four of Wands. And again, these are very shuffled decks at this point. They're very integrated. These did come out in a row. So we're talking about action going from the three to the four. The Queen of Swords. And then we'll call them the clarifiers, right? We have confession and past lives. That was not a cat sound. That was like a whisper sound. I'm feeling weird tonight. I don't know what's going on. All right, we're going to jump right in to the Three of Wands. They're like, and unsubscribe. One of my favorite memes to date was like, haha, you thought you weirded me out, but you really weirded me in, right? And that is always the kind of people that I want in my life. The weirder I am, and you're like, you lean forward because you're like, I'm intrigued. These are the people I want in my life. Like my cat. She's being weird right on camera. 0 F's to give. Okay, Three of Wands. To begin the reading, bonding, loyalty, expansion. The parts of a plan are moving, changing, and expanding with red hot gusto. That's kind of sexy. A stable leader, like a shore breeze, pollinating insects driven by instinctual bonds, or you, is needed to oversee this task. This is a card of travel. Similarly, the cedar apple rust is the fungus of travel in its universe. Yellow orange powdery spores, that is not sounding sexy, are transferred between apple and cedar host trees by attracting insects or a steady breeze. Okay. This feels like something coming together. And then we're going to go straight into the Four of Wands. If the book will separate. Pardon me, ma'am. I'm trying to do something. Okay, the Four of Wands. Stability, harmony, celebrate. Successful planning and leadership allow you to enjoy stabilized harmony in your work environment or community. Your plan's embers are creating a sustained bonfire worth celebrating. Stability is the theme of this card. The birch polypore is the well-guarded form of ancient medicine that was found in the knapsack of a 5,000-year-old alpine mummy in 1991 that shows some time-honored stability. So I love how this deck is sort of like, hey, look at this weird creepy thing. Look at this fungus. Look at these spores. Look how this ties into the tarot. I think that's really funny. So this feels like something that is coming together and really bonding. This could be an actual physical bond with a person, right? This could be love coming together. This could be a project or the team of people that are going to work on the project coming together, finding one another. And then this is that plan, that team or that couple or that family stabilizing and coming into something more solid. So this kind of shows me the taking through process of um, courting to solid dating, solid commitment of some kind. Okay. Um, but I feel like the way they came out together, it feels like that's going to move quickly, if this makes sense. The coming together and the stabilization part are going to happen almost instantaneously. So if you would separate it out, it might take a couple weeks or months. This might take a week, right? So just to give an idea of time frame on how fast. The Queen of Swords is our other messenger here. And we will talk to her. Okay, oh, this is Lion's Mane. So a competent thinker cuts through the bluster of miscommunication with sound judgment and clearly articulated plans. A safe and well-maintained environment overseen by a fair leader allows for harmonious productivity. Lion's mane mushrooms are royally positioned in the realm of medical fungi, known for promoting nerve regeneration and the production of healthy brain cells. This mushroom represents an independent spirit that effectively shares their ideas for the betterment of their kingdom. Okay, this feels like someone who knows what they want. They're going to come in, they're going to go for it, they're going to build it, and it's going to solidify very quickly. This could be someone who goes in, secures the grant money for the project, has the team, puts them together, and it stabilizes, and the project is off and running very quickly. This is a relationship where someone comes in, a strong leader, a masculine energy, again, feels like the container, the leader is going to come in and is going to say, hey, this is what I want. This is my plan of attack. I want to build a life with you. I want to build a family with you. This is how I propose to do it. Are you amenable to that plan? If you say yes, I will sweep you off your feet. Right? It's not a lack of romance here if it's love, but I feel like it's someone who's coming in with a plan. Who can move things forward from 3 to 4 of Wands very quickly. And 4 of Wands is a celebration card. It is typically looked at as the marriage card. So in regards to a romantic coupling or a unity of two people, this is a very, very good sign. And this leads me to believe that someone, the initiator, is going to come in and is going to have a plan already in place that they're hoping this other person says yes to. And that will lead to efficient movement of things. This is like, I'm single today, and then in a week, I am engaged because everything is laid out. There's a plan. We're going to have a longer engagement, but we are engaged to be married, and we're moving forward with serious dating for the intention of marriage and kids. within a year. Like, that's the kind of energy that I'm seeing here. Not bad at all. It doesn't immediately come across as romantic if it's a romantic relationship that this is talking about. It does read more like business, but what is a good marriage if not a good business coupling? I don't mind looking at marriage as a business contract in a way. I know it doesn't sound romantic, but it's like, hey, I recognize that you're an amazing independent person. I'm an amazing independent person. If we put those two things together and we continue to love and respect each other, let's build something together. And I think that is sexy. Again, as I'm pushing up and up and up in age, the things I want out of life are a little bit different. I look at things a little bit differently. Not that I don't want the romance, but someone who comes forward to me with a level head and a plan, that's actually sexy. I'm like, okay, we can go from 0 to 60 way faster because I trust you. You have a plan, you're stepping forward. Now, the confession here, because I've had this storyline that's kind of been following me here, this confession with past lives leads me to believe that this is somebody that is from your past that might be coming in rather quickly with some sort of offer. This could be the job offer that you forgot about, that you turned down, or they turned you down, and then they're coming forward and saying, hey, we have a new position for you, or hey, we actually have reconsidered and we will meet your salary requirements and give you a $5,000 to $10,000 sign-on bonus. Like, do you want the job now? Right. And so those elements come together, and within a week you're in your uh, orientation for training for a new job, right? Because they come forward, with the plan, and they say, hey, this is what's going on, da 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 da. So that's one way to look at this. The other way with this past lives and confession is sort of like a love interest from the past who comes back, and they may or may not have been a love interest initially. This might have been a friend or a business colleague or a boss, or maybe there was something taboo involved with this, because there's confession, there's like a kind of a, we need to keep this quiet until we solidify this, because I'm not sure if it's going to work out, or I'm not sure that you want it, but I have something to tell you. I have a secret to tell you. And this is something from the past. I believe this will lead to your highest good, because again, we have the Four of Wands here, and that is a celebration card of all kinds. Whatever way that you need or want to be celebrating is the way that you're going to be celebrating. If you do not want to get married or don't have love on the brain, then this is probably some sort of career or passion project that is going to solidify for you, or that you're finally going to be recognized, or finally get the grant money that you need to continue going in the right direction with whatever you're doing. So take this in the category that it fits for you. All right, I want to clarify this. Woo! Hold on. Far too many jumped. We're going to do this again. Woo! Okay. Bloop. Sharing knowledge. Again, someone's got something to tell you. And this is some sort of divinely inspired message. So I feel like someone has been being nudged to contact you. Okay. Again, this could be the partner. This could be this could be an ex-partner, an ex-colleague, an ex-boss, but they're being nudged in your direction because it's time that you learned the information that was being withheld, sharing knowledge and confession. So someone is sharing something that's probably from the past. Maybe this is someone coming to you and saying, I know why you didn't get that promotion. Let me tell you why. Let me spill that tea. Now, that being said, I can tell you that there's a position that they want to offer you, or that I want to offer you, or that another company wants to offer you, because you're well placed. And even though something that didn't work out in the past has put you in a position to be in the winning position now. I hope that makes sense. So I want to go a little bit further into this. We have a little bit of time. I'm trying to keep these readings shorter. because I know that sometimes once you go past 20 minutes, it gets kind of hard to keep attention. So, okay. I mean, I'm leaning towards some sort of offer here. Knight of Cups. This could be love offer. This could be job offer. Clarify the Knight of Cups even deeper, please. Okay. All right. I'm going to say this is probably a love offer. We've got the Queen of Cups and we have the Fool. Okay. Coming out together as a clarifier for this kind of offering, this message of love. All right. The Knight of Cups. Let's talk about mushrooms. Let's talk about fungi. And you know what? I'm realizing this now because of the way these came out, the Knight of Cups and then the Queen of Cups coming out one after the other, just like the Three of Wands, Four of Wands did. Okay? So we're going from 3 to 4, from things coming together to stability. We have things going from an offer of something important, an offer of a secret, right? Of knowledge being shared, to the Queen of Cups, which is really an acceptance of said message. Okay, this is someone that's receptive and open to hearing about this love message. I mean, this is somebody from your past beating down your door saying, I have something to tell you. I have to share this information with you. And you say, all right, sure. What do you got to tell me? you know, um, everyone is always kind of curious, right? Even if you're not going to say yes, I don't think anyone would turn someone away unless they did something terrible to them. I always kind of considered, if someone has that much built up, pent up energy to come towards you and share something with you, and they're out of breath and they're sweaty and they're like, oh, I have to tell you this. Yeah, dude, tell me whatever you got to tell me, because apparently you really need to share it. And maybe it's not even so much about me hearing it as you sharing it, but I get to choose what I do with that information. So to me, getting the Knight of Cups, getting this shared knowledge, this secret information, it's just giving you more information to decide what the heck you want to do. And maybe what you decide to do is not to take that, but I think you will. I think you're going to take this in and it's going to be good news. This is definitely you being receptive to the message, like, okay, let's hear what you have to say. But the Fool card really is the beginning of something once again. And so I think that you're going to say yes to whatever this is. This offer is going to be a yes for you. This card, the Knight of Cups, represents someone's tempered charm. Proceed with grace and maintain a cool and collected mind. Allow calm wisdom to guide your emotions while taking on this task. Creativity and calm are moods manifested by this beautiful purple Lucaria and the Knight of Cups. While some of its lookalikes can contain arsenic, this mushroom provides safe sustenance to humans and a network of threads, mycelium, that nourishes surrounding tree roots. So this is an honest and true and safe message of, I believe, feelings, because again, the cups are feelings cards. But if this is maybe just something, an offer of a job that you've really wanted for a long time, there's pent up passion, want, drive, love towards a career goal as well. So understand that that energy can be alive within you, and maybe it's pointed in the direction of love right now, or maybe it's pointed in the direction of a career. Either one is valid and beautiful. I'm just reading all of these in the more obvious way because they are supporting a love message. So I want to jump to the Queen of Cups. Okay, connect with your inner benevolent matriarch and guide your crew with a calm and compassionate hand. Follow your intuition and let the love that flows forth from you sustain transcendent creativity and encourage it to thrive. The Nargon's bonnet. I can't even make these names up. With a cap that looks like the night sky over a calm sea, the dark blue hues of this mushroom require you to trust your intuition to discover what you cannot see with your eyes. It is named after Nargon's Cave, a sacred place for women's ceremonies in Australia's Guyakurani tribe's history. I have no idea. I'm sorry if I botched that. I probably did. The Queen of Cups would appreciate this revered place. So this is always that energy of a gentle, loving mother. That's always what the Queen of Cups is going to allow. The Queen of Cups card, there's many ways to look at this, but the energetic signature of this is a child crying, coming up to its mother, and she's saying, "Oh, it's okay, baby, come here." Like there's a deep, loving, nurturing energy here with this Queen of Cups card. So if someone's coming to you out of breath and sweaty with a message, you're like, "Yeah, sure, sit down, have a glass of iced tea, we'll talk this through, it'll be okay." And I'm not saying that that's really truly what's going to physically be happening. Energetically, though, I feel like you are the person that's going to hold space for someone to come forth and share information that is good information. It's correct, it's accurate, but it's also from this intention of sharing something pure and beautiful. Because again, this Knight of Cups card is sometimes its lookalike is dangerous and poisonous, but this is not. This is very interdependent with its surrounding nature. Okay, it's helping other plants around it to thrive. So this love offer wants to help you thrive. This job offer wants to help you thrive. So we'll read one more with the Fool card because, again, these messages have so many layers to them. All right, the Fool card. New beginnings, risk taking, independence. You've discovered a new passion. Nurture that childlike wonder with confidence and dive deep. Go experience the world for yourself, even if it's a dreary day. You're going to become the powerhouse you know yourself to be with hard work and a keen eye. The only thing stopping you is you. You've got this. Now, these mushrooms are called chicken of the woods. Chicken of the woods is one of the easiest mushrooms for beginner foragers, to identify, and therefore a good representation of the young and the innocent fool. Its bright orange and yellow hues stick out like a beacon in early and waning summer forests. Versatile in its culinary applications from sandwiches to soups, the generous medicinal value that this mushroom offers, and the burgeoning forager is offered a solid springboard to start their journey of becoming a mystical mycologist. I feel like that was really hard to read. Okay, so this is forgiving. Um, because you're starting over, there's something in here trying to like peel apart this thread with my mind. There's something here about this being new and forgiving, as far as I don't want to say that you don't have high expectations for whatever this is, but you're allowing the process to unfold and flow very naturally without a whole lot of um, heavy expectation or heavy assumption. You're going to let things flow the way they're going to flow. And I think that's a very healthy thing, a very healthy way to look at nearly anything. As someone who's tried to start and execute many a passion project that I've started, went full bore into, and decided to step back from, I've done it numerous times in my career. I understand this energy. I went in it with that beginner's mindset. I was a fool, not in a bad way, but I just went gung ho into something. I put my all into it. And we'll say the return on that investment was my experience of not fully building that thing, but the beginning of building that thing. And even in the barriers, there was a lesson. So the Fool card doesn't automatically mean that everything's going to work out perfectly. I always need to put this disclaimer in here because some of the card readers that I see, their messages are so overly positive that I feel like it can be a little bit, it can cause disillusionment. Okay. And I'm not here to do that. I really want to offer an honest reading of what life is really like, how things show up. A while back, This is a great example, and I'm going to say it again. A while back in a reading, I was talking with someone in a live in-person reading, and I was telling her that this gentleman that was coming in that was like going to be a really good match for her, um, he spoke really well. He had like words of a poet. And it was sort of like this beautiful, flowy kind of vibe with the card talking about, oh, he's going to write beautiful poetry and things like that. And I told her, I said, look, the card says this, but the way this shows up in your life could be a guy who writes music like Weird Al Yankovic. Okay? Like, so off the wall, so weird, makes you stop and think, and yet there's definitely a poeticness to that music. And I think um it's like we get wrapped up in what the cards say. We get wrapped up in the cards saying, "Oh, he will be a poet." And then he comes in and he's a poet but like in a goofy way, and it kind of throws you off thinking, "Well, this can't be the person." We have to understand that these messages and the energies of this are very fluid, and the way the energy shows up in real life is going to be different than a static message that has to be written down. These cards and these decks are created one time by someone who has wonderful intentions, but their mind and their way of thinking is only one thing, right? And the cards themselves have so many meanings that can divert off of a card based on the reader, based on the interpreter. So I say take everything with a mound of salt, okay? Not just a grain, but a mound of salt. And so this Fool card is saying you want to begin again. You want to offer this situation your full attention and energy. And that could just mean stepping into a relationship, not assuming it's going to fail. Okay. You're just taking the steps and you're beginning. And that's really all it gives us here. Now, to loop back around, we did have the Four of Wands card, which is a card of stability and celebration. So I do see this going positively, but I always need to put that little disclaimer on there that this could mean that you want to step forward and try something, and you do, and it still doesn't work out, and that's okay. So, I always say these things so that you understand and know what life is really like sometimes, how the cards manifest in real life. Okay. So the sharing of knowledge card that came from the Sacred Journey Oracle, knowledge typically comes from experience. Some are wise and have the ability to learn the lessons from teachers instead of living the experience itself. It is important to share your knowledge with those who are willing to receive it. Share your story and what you've learned. Tell your story. Okay. This feels like someone sharing their story with you. This does not feel like you sharing your knowledge, unless you maybe that's part of this work project. Maybe it is to teach and share knowledge. But I'm getting with the confession card that it came with that it's something a little bit more like someone spilling the tea for you. Okay, confession. There is information that is being withheld by you or someone close to you. Secrets or covering up for others will likely end negatively. It is best to be honest, share what you must with those involved, and understand that is for you more than them. Keeping information to yourself due to secrets or lies can destroy you. If someone else should be confessing to you and they refuse, this might be a sign to move forward without them, as there must be, trust in the relationship, and as long as they refuse to confess, no trust or safety exists. So this does feel like someone, golly gosh, with these cards, everything's jiggling around today. Too jiggly. All right. Confession, share knowledge. This does feel to me like somebody wanting to end a time of, I know something you don't know. Okay. This is someone ending that so that you do know what they know. And trusting that that information is going to lead you where you need to go, which is to the Fool card, I believe, that I truly hope leads to a stable Four of Wands for you. So on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm disgusted with myself that this is a 30-minute reading, but it is what it is. All right. Until next time, everybody, I hope this message had value. I hope you have a great night, and I will see you next time.